This is a quick intro on how to play Valentine's Day Spin It to Win It, as well as how to add or change the puzzles in the template. To start, you can go ahead and open the Spin It to Win It PowerPoint file. There are 3 files with different sound options: normal, low, and no sound. For the version with the scoreboard, you will have to enable macros. There is a file included in your order with tips on how to enable macros on your PC. If you are unable to use macros, you can use the version without a scoreboard and keep track of the score manually using the Excel or printable scoreboard included in your order. There are a few other differences in terms of gameplay to be aware of in the version without a scoreboard, which I'll explain later in the video. You can use the shortcuts in the description to jump to that section. Once you have the file open, you will want to start by configuring the final round based on the number of players you will have. If you'll have 4 players or teams, you do not need to change anything and the game is ready to play. But if you'll have less than 4 players, you should go to the end of the presentation to the section called Final Round. In this section, you will see there are 4 puzzles total. You will want to delete slides as needed so that the total matches your number of players. So for example, if you will have 3 players, you will delete 1 puzzle and end up with a total of 3. After you configure the final round to match your number of players, the game is ready to play and you can start the slideshow from the beginning. I have included an optional black slide that you can use to have the game up but not visible until you click the slide. You can delete the slide if you would rather have the game start immediately. After you start the game, there is a quick intro, and once you're at the main screen, click Play Game. The first slide lets you enter the player or team names. Simply type the names in for 2, 3, or 4 players and then click Play. The first round is Think Fast, and it starts with instructions on how to play. Letters are revealed randomly one at a time. If a player wants to solve, they should say stop, and you as a host will click the pause button. If they answer correctly, they will get 2,000 added to their score. If they answer wrong, the game will continue and the other players will have a chance to solve. Once you've gone over the instructions, click Play to begin. You will see the blank letters in the puzzle and the category at the top. Click the Start Puzzle button and the letters will start appearing. When a player says stop, click the Pause Puzzle button and the letters will stop appearing. Please note, after you click the pause button, the mouse arrow will disappear, but if you move the mouse around, it will reappear. You can use the included answer key to confirm what the correct answer is. If the player guesses wrong, you can click the Puzzle Fail button to make a fail sound, then the Start Puzzle button to continue revealing letters, and the other 2 players have a chance to win. If a player correctly answers the puzzle, you will click the Solve button for that player, and 2,000 will be automatically added to their score. When you're ready, you can click the arrow to go to the next puzzle. Round 2 is Spin and Solve, and it again starts with instructions on how to play. The player will spin the wheel, and if they land on a letter value, they can guess a consonant. They will get that letter value for each letter that is in the puzzle. After they guess at least 1 consonant, they can choose to buy a vowel, spin again, or solve the puzzle. Only the player that solves the puzzle keeps their winnings from that puzzle. The others will be reset to 0. Once you've gone over the instructions, click Play to begin. You will see the category at the top, and when you click Start Puzzle, the blank letters and letter buttons will appear, and the player's scores will start at 0 for this puzzle. Click the Spin button for the current player. The spin button you click will determine where the letter value goes, so make sure to click the button for the correct player. So if it's player 1's turn, you will click player 1's spin button. The wheel will appear, and you can click the spin button to start the wheel. When the player says stop, click the stop button. Click on the value they stop on, and it will bring you back to the puzzle, and you will see the value in the scoreboard. The player can then guess a letter, and you will click on that letter button. If there are any of that letter in the puzzle, the board will light up and you can click the lit up letter to reveal it. Once you click it, you will see the letter value added to their score. If there are more than 1 letter, each one you click will be added to their score. After they guess at least 1 letter correctly, they can choose to spin again, buy a vowel for 200, or solve the puzzle. Let's say they're going to buy an E. When you click on the E, the board will light up with any E's and you will see 200 is removed from their score. For vowels, only 200 will be deducted regardless of how many letters are in the puzzle. Let's say the player decides to spin again. You will click that player's spin button, spin the wheel, and click on the value. Now let's say they guess a letter that is not in the puzzle. No letters will light up and you will hear a fail sound in the versions with sound. Once they miss a letter, it is the next player's turn. So now it would be player 2's turn and you would click player 2's spin button and the game will continue. There are a couple other spots on the wheel to be aware of. If they land on bankrupt, you will click bankrupt and it will bring you back to the puzzle and clear that player's score for this puzzle. You can then click on the next player's spin button. If they land on lose a turn, again, you will click on the lose a turn and it will bring you back to the puzzle and you can click on the next player's spin button. The game continues until a player is ready to solve. You can use the answer key to confirm the correct answer. If the player guesses wrong, you can click the puzzle fail button to make a fail sound and it will be the next player's turn. If a player correctly answers the puzzle, you will click the solve button for that player. The scores will go back to the game totals. The amount the winner won will go into their total and the rest will lose what they earned and it will show their previous total. As an example, using easy numbers, let's say all players have 2,000 from winning previous puzzles. And in this current puzzle, they all score 1,000. When a player solves the puzzle, you will see their score goes to 3,000 and the others go back to the original 2,000. Once a puzzle is done, you can click the arrow to go to the next puzzle. For the final round, each player will have one chance to solve a puzzle and win a mystery prize. The players will spin the wheel to choose their mystery prize. They will be shown the most common letters and then can choose 3 more consonants and 1 vowel. They will have 10 seconds to solve the puzzle. Once you've gone over the instructions, click play to begin. Click the spin button for the current player. It will bring you to the final round wheel where you can click spin and stop, similar to the other wheel. Click on the card they land on and it will bring you back to the main puzzle. Keep in mind the prize won't be revealed until the end. Click Start Puzzle and the blank letters will appear. Click the common letters in this section, click all 6, and reveal them in the puzzle. Then click on the 3 consonants and 1 vowel that the player chooses and reveal those letters in the puzzle. Once the letters are selected, click the Start Timer button and the player will have 10 seconds to solve. If they guess the correct answer, you can click the Solve button for that player. If they miss the answer or run out of time, you can click the Fail button. The prize will be revealed regardless of the button you click, but the prize will only be added to their score if you click Solve. After the final puzzle, when you click the arrow, it will bring you to the final scores so you can see who won the game. There are a couple other buttons to be aware of. If you need to manually change one of the player's scores, you can use the scoreboard plus and minus buttons to go up or down. You can click the Reset Scores button to reset all the scores to 0. You can click the I buttons to make the puzzle visible for editing or not visible for playing the game. The puzzles will automatically reset as well when you start the slideshow from the beginning, so these buttons will primarily be used if you are editing the puzzles. You can play the game as provided, or if you want to personalize or refresh the puzzles, it's very easy to change or add slides. Unless you're starting from the original presentation, I always recommend you reset the score to 0 before editing by going into any game slide and clicking the Reset Scores button. If you don't reset the scores, you may get an error if you try to delete a slide. The game comes with 60 puzzles. In the main game, there are 5 rounds: 2 Think Fast, 2 Spin and Solve, and 1 final round. Each round includes 4 puzzles. If you scroll down, you will see sections called Extra Puzzles with the additional puzzles for each round. To use these, simply drag or copy and paste them into the correct round above. You can adjust the number of puzzles depending on how long you'd like the game to last. To create your own puzzles, go to the end of the presentation where you will find blank puzzle template slides for each round. To add puzzles to the main game, you can simply copy and paste the blank puzzle template slide into the correct round. To update the Think Fast template, type in the category at the top and then 1 letter in each box. Delete the unused white boxes by dragging the mouse around them or clicking on them. Please note there are 2 boxes on top of each other and you want to make sure you delete both. If you look above the slide, you will find text boxes for numbers or symbols. These will show automatically when the puzzle starts rather than revealing randomly the way the letters do. If you want to use these, copy and paste the box in place of a text box and type in the number or symbol you want to use. There are also right quote options available because the quote will default to left quotes. If we play the slideshow and start the puzzle, you can see the letters start revealing, and if I click solve, it shows the answer. The spin and solve template and the final round template are updated the same way. Type in the category at the top and then 1 letter in each box. In these templates, you do not need to delete unused letters. Due to the coding in the background to make the letters light up automatically, this is where you may need to use the I buttons. If you don't see text boxes or you don't see the letters, you can go into slideshow view and click the left I button to turn on the visibility. Then end the slideshow view to go back to the puzzle, and you can now edit the slide. To hide the puzzle for playing the game or testing the slide, you can go into slideshow view and click the right I button to turn off the visibility. In this template, if you want to use numbers or symbols, you can simply type them into the text box. The game will automatically identify them as a symbol and show them when you start the puzzle. If you need right quotes though, there are text boxes at the top to use since they would default to left quotes if you type them in. Click into the text box and copy the quote, not the entire text box. Then paste it into one of the existing puzzle text boxes. If we play the slideshow and start the puzzle, you can see the letters in the puzzle light up as I click the letter buttons, and it shows the answer if I click solve. And that's all there is to updating the puzzles. You can see it's really pretty easy to do. So that covers the version with the scoreboard. As I mentioned earlier, the version without a scoreboard has some differences since it does not use macros. For the Think Fast puzzles, the only difference is the letters are not automatically revealed. Instead, once you click the Start puzzle, you will have a Show Letter button instead of a Pause button. Each time you click the button, a letter will be randomly revealed. You can simply stop clicking on it when someone wants to solve. To use the blank Think Fast puzzle template, you can type in the category at the top and then 1 letter in each box. Delete the unused white boxes by dragging the mouse around them or clicking on them. There are 2 boxes on top of each other, and you want to make sure you delete both. If you look above the slide, you will find text boxes for numbers or symbols. These will show automatically when the puzzle starts rather than revealing randomly the way the letters do. If you want to use these, drag the box in place of a text box and type in the number or symbol you want to use. There are also right quote options available because the quote will default to left quotes. For the spin and solve and final round puzzles, the letters will not automatically light up. If the puzzle has numbers or symbols, you should click on them manually after you start the puzzle to reveal them. You can click on the letter button to make it disappear and then reveal the letters by manually clicking on them and using the answer key as a reference. If they choose a letter that isn't in the puzzle, there is a letter miss button you can click to make a fail sound. When creating a custom puzzle, you can type in the category at the top and then 1 letter in each box. Delete the unused white boxes by dragging the mouse around them or clicking on them. There are 2 boxes on top of each other, and you want to make sure you delete both. For numbers and symbols, you can just type them into the existing text boxes with the exception of the right quotes as mentioned before. To score the game manually, I have included an Excel and printable scoreboard you can use if you would like. For the Think Fast puzzles, you can type or write 2000 in the player that won. For the spin and solve puzzles, there are separate scoreboards for each puzzle where you can type or write in the value the wheel lands on, as well as the number of letters in the puzzle. For vowels, you can just enter the total number they buy. At the end of the puzzle, you will type the total for the player that solved the puzzle into the main board at the top. You can just disregard the other players. If they land on bankrupt, you can just delete or cross off what they previously won and start over. For the final round, after they spin, you should click on the matching card to the right. So for example, if they land on the D in day, you would click the D button and it will light up. Click the arrow to go back to the puzzle. After the player completes the puzzle, you can click fail or solve to play the appropriate sound and then click the reveal prize button to go back to the wheel. You will click on the card you previously selected, which will still be lit up, and it will reveal the prize they either won or didn't win depending on if they solved the puzzle. If they solved it, you can type or write in that amount in the final round scoreboard. And that's all there is related to the version without the scoreboard. So I hope this demo was helpful. Please feel free to contact me through my Etsy store if you have any questions on how to play. I would also love to hear any feedback you have on your experience playing Valentine's Day Spin It to Win It. I hope you enjoy the game.